We're mourning the loss of 5 Marines. Details on the recovery efforts in a live report.
There's just danger written all over this from several different ways.
A cliff collapsed yesterday and continues to push itself into a neighbor's backyard. A geologist says it's not safe to be in the house. Plus, a new bill to ban plastic bags statewide, including those plastic reusable bags.
The Super Bowl buzz is the talk of the nation. But what are longtime Las Vegas locals saying about the big game?
CBS 8 News Live at 6 starts now.
Tonight, we've learned the name of one of the 5 Marines who died when their helicopter went down in Pine Valley. Good evening. I'm Carlo Cicchetto.
I'm Marcella Lee. The helicopter was found yesterday morning, and we learned today there were no survivors. CBS 8's Kirsten Holmes has been following the story for us for the past couple of days and joins us live now with the very latest. Kirsten?
I'm here off Kitchen Creek Road in Pine Valley, just miles away that helicopter crash. Colonel James Ford says the bodies of those 5 Marines were found with that wreckage. An Arizona man is one of the first of the Marines to be identified. This is 23-year-old Marine Corps Sergeant Alec Langan. He's from Chandler, Arizona. His family says he is one of the 5 Marines who died when the CH-53E Super Stallion crashed during a winter storm here in the mountains of Pine Valley. The second picture you see is Langan in 2021. He was a corporal at the time, maintaining the same helicopter, a CH-53E. The 5 Marines were on their way from Creech Air Force Base in Nevada to Miramar when their helicopter went down in Pine Valley, 35 miles outside of San Diego. Unfortunately, this is not the first time we've seen a deadly crash involving this helicopter. Back in 2018, 4 Marines died during a routine training mission using the same aircraft. Also in 2016, 12 Marines died during a nighttime training exercise using the CH-53E helicopter. I want you to take a listen to what Colonel James Ford had to say to reporters about their process for handling crashes like this.
As you're aware, our 5 Marines were located and confirmed deceased at the crash site. Marine Corps Casualty Assistance calls officers update the status of Marines from duty status, whereabouts unknown, to confirmed by medical personnel as deceased. We notified the next of kin of each Marine last night and early this morning in person.
Right now, the military says they are trying to recover the bodies of those 5 Marines, and that recovery effort is impacted by the weather in this area. It's cold, it's windy, it's wet, it's very rainy here, and there's also rough terrain that's offering a challenge. The Marine Corps is also working to recover what's left of that helicopter, and they say that they will update us on that investigation when they have those details. Reporting for CBS 8, I'm Kirsten Holmes. Back to you.
Thanks, Kirsten. More scattered showers today and more mountain snow.
Chief Meteorologist Carlene Chavis is here with where we're at right now and what we can expect going into the weekend. Is there an end in sight to all this rain?
Please. There is finally an end in sight, and we're not even talking about for a few days. We're talking about a long stretch, so that's actually looking pretty good, and that's for much of next week. But we will start to get that drying trend by this weekend. We are still dealing with some showers in the forecast, and as you saw with Kirsten, also some winds that are picking up across the mountains as well as for the desert. But that wind advisory did expire about 2 minutes ago, but still talking about that breeze out there. When we look at the last 6 hours, we've been seeing scattered showers, on again, off again activity, and even some mountain snow throughout much of the day. When we look at the current radar sweep, we are seeing that activity once again favor North County. So you're seeing some more moderate rainfall popping up near Oceanside, also seeing some of that activity making its way towards Escondido and near downtown as well as Bonita. We're still holding on to chances for wet weather, but it's not going to be as heavy as it has been. We are looking at that for North County around 725. Becomes a little bit more spotty and a little bit more spread out in the county. You're seeing that from Fallbrook all the way to Santee, impacting Escondido and Ramona around 11:45 for tonight. We still have it into the overnight hours when it does come to some wet weather and even still additional mountain snow. And then by about 8:20 tomorrow morning, you're seeing that from Del Mar all the way down to the border. You're also seeing it across the 8 and some flurries near Pine Valley. And then everything gets caught up on the mountains as we hit tomorrow afternoon around 12:40. And then once we get past that, it's really isolated in nature. And then we completely dry out just in time for the weekend. And if you really just were craving a whole lot more sunshine and some warmer temperatures. We're going to take a look at your complete microclimate forecast coming up. Marcella, Carla.
Looking forward to that. Thanks, Carlene. The saturated ground continues to compromise hillsides and threaten homes. In Lakeside, the fire department believes a shift in wet dirt broke a water line yesterday, causing a portion of a hillside to give way right underneath a home.
And today, crews are covering a slope in Mission Hills after part of a cliff collapsed into 2 backyards. No one was hurt, but these unstable cliffs are a big concern.
CBS 8's Abby Black spoke with an expert about the danger of these unstable hillsides. Rex Huffman says that his wife was home when this cliff collapsed into their backyard yesterday, and since then it has slid even more into their patio deck. I spoke to a geologist who says it's not safe to be in this house.
Well, I see several things of danger.
I invited geologist Dr. Pat Abbott out to survey the damage from the recent cliff collapse in Mission Hills.
It's a dangerous, unstable situation.
When you put yesterday's images next to today's, you can see the juniper trees and mud have shifted further down into Rex Huffman's backyard.
I'm a little more fearful than I was a couple hours ago.
We introduced Huffman to Abbott today.
He explained a lot to me about how that was filled dirt, which I would have never known, and the reason it could collapse and the reason it could come this way and what to be prepared for.
Abbott sees another red flag.
You see these big gray concrete cinder blocks. You stack up a heavy concrete block, then you stack another one on the top. They're not cemented together. There's no support rods going through them. They're simply there by their weight only.
He says any shift in the ground, the blocks would be useless.
We're right in the heart of the Rose Canyon Fault Zone right here.
Looking above, you see part of the patio hanging over the ledge, and one of the braces that stabilized it crumbled down the hill.
It's not that the rain's going to fall, therefore it's going to move. It's the fact so much rain has fallen that water has so saturated the earth that it's making it easier for gravity to pull things down.
Huffman gives us another view from his bedroom balcony.
You can see where it's bulging out.
He says the owner of the house wasn't living there when the cliff collapsed, but Huffman says that he spoke to him yesterday.
He was devastated because he said he was 2 or 3 weeks away from pulling the permit to have held all this up and fixed this before it slid down.
I checked permit records and see several applications for work at the address where the home was sold exactly a year ago. I called the owner, but have not heard back.
I don't know where you go from here.
The city tells me that crews yellow tag the compromised home, meaning only contractors can enter, and red tag the backyard and Huffman's deck, which would restrict access. The city also recommended that the slope be covered to limit any threats, which the owner did this afternoon. Any repairs and damages are a private matter. Huffman says that since we last spoke, the slab has already shifted another 8 to 10 feet closer to his pool.
There's more to come, I'm afraid. You hope not, but I kind of expect. I would not sleep in this house myself.
In Mission Hills, Abby Black, CBS 8.
Thanks, Abby. Today in San Bernardino County, a woman was rescued after being trapped inside a 25-foot deep sinkhole. This happened just outside her mobile home in Fontana. Police say her children noticed she was missing and contacted their father, who rushed home from work. It took nearly an hour for firefighters to save her. It's still unclear right now how she ended up in that sinkhole. This week's storm is bringing plenty of fresh powder to popular destinations in our local mountains. But if you're planning to make a trip up, it's smart to be prepared. Caltrans crews were out keeping the roads safe today. They recommend you pack chains for your car and check traffic and the forecast before you leave. One person today told us it's the first time she's seen snow in person.
It's definitely worth my time. It is chilly, it is very cold, but I'm enjoying this very much. First time in the snow.
It's also important to charge your cell phone and bring along things like blankets, food, and water in case of any delays.
San Diego residents are calling for more funding to maintain these flood control channels. This after the worst storm in decades overwhelmed neighborhoods 2 weeks ago. CBS 8's David Gottfredson spoke with a former city council member who says these funding shortfalls are nothing new.
I'm a resident of 4150 National Avenue.
This is what's left of the apartment complex Rachel Clark called home before floodwaters came pouring in.
We had people that worked night shifts that were sleeping at the time, that woke up to water literally touching the top of their queen beds. That's what woke them up. Women sleeping with their babies that were trapped inside their apartments that couldn't get out, and that had to have people break down the doors to get them out.
The apartment complex sits along South Choice Creek in Mountain View. These are photos from September 2022 showing before and after the city of San Diego cleaned out the channel on the north side of National Avenue Bridge. But take a look at the south side of the same bridge, as seen in this Google Earth animation taken before last month's devastating floods.
We are talking about trees growing in these channels, palm trees, shrubbery. And we're not talking about little weeds growing in the concrete.
State Assemblyman David Alvarez sat on the city council from 2010 to 2018. He said everyone knew the flood channels needed to be maintained, but funding was never enough. And he says the city council even did a study that concluded maintenance would make a difference.
Even if you say, okay, it was a rain event like we've never seen before, the work should have still been done to prevent the level of damage.
A couple weeks following the floods, this is what the same channel now looks like south of the bridge. The city says an emergency declaration allowed crews to move in fast and clear out the debris, something that Alvarez says could and should have been done years ago.
We're talking about complete devastation and loss of hundreds of homes, vehicles, and all the property inside the homes. And so to the extent we could have prevented that even a little bit to help a few folks, I think we owe it to the public to do that.
Now the city council is trying to come up with a plan to take to the ballot that would impose a new tax to fund repair and maintenance of these flood channels. But if you don't live in a flood zone, you might be hard-pressed to vote for that measure. Along Choyas Creek, David Gottfredson, CBS 8.
Thanks, David. This was a beautiful reunion at the San Diego Humane Society today after 3 dogs and their owner had to be separated because of last month's flooding.
Look at all the wagging tails. The dog's owner, Patricia, has been staying in different shelters while the Humane Society took care of her dogs. Now she has found short-term housing and is able to welcome her pups back home safely.
Still ahead tonight, we have crews in Las Vegas, and we're asking people who live there how the Super Bowl hype and lead-up is hitting them.
Plus, the Paramount Mountain Interface interactive theme park opens to Super Bowl and non-football fans alike.
And up next, how the inclusion of LGBTQ+ NFL fans is being celebrated in Las Vegas this week.